Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, George Mason University proudly brings to you its premier movie review program that's out of this world. I'm the Dean Machine, Roger Dean, with Mason Cable Network and Student Media, and this is From the Cinema.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope all is well. I hope your week is treating you well as well. Something amazing just happened this past weekend. Someone made the news. That person's name is Deadpool. He did some pretty cool things. Him and some other people, but mainly him if you ask him. I'm going to review Deadpool 2016. I want to thank two of my best friends for coming to see this film with me, Go Curtis and Savannah. I'm going to talk about the records, but before I do that, I want to at least introduce you to our beloved mercenary. In order to do that, first, let's talk about Deadpool, the film. Deadpool is a 2016 American superhero film based on the Marvel comic character of the same name. We will talk about him soon enough. It is the 8th installment of the X-Men film series. Now let's stop right there. I forgot all about that. I was under the impression that Deadpool was a standalone film. I knew he was a character in the X-Men universe comics, but I didn't know they would bring him into the X-verse. Also, the other films in the X-Men film series are as following. X-Men in 2000, which is a great film. X2, X-Men United, 2003, which is an even better film. Then there's X-Men The Last Stand, 2006, which was a very disappointing film. There's always, after that is X-Men Origins Wolverine, 2009. This was an even more disappointing film for the ending reasons. The majority of the film was actually not that bad, but when the ending happened, people were just like, wait, what? And then they rebooted it in X-Men First Class, 2011. This film was absolutely amazing. I love this film. It is probably one of my favorites in the series. Then you have the Wolverine, 2013, which is the second standalone Wolverine film. This film is a necessary evil to get to the next part. X-Men, Days of Future Past, 2014. This is probably the best movie in the series. It is really hard to decide. Then all of our hearts were mended together when Deadpool was correctly put on screen. I'm going to talk about that, don't worry. I'm going to talk about the character first now. Wade Wilson is a fictional anti-hero. Let that be clear. He is not a hero. Similar to Batman in a way. Now hear me out. I always make this comparison to explain being an anti-hero and what it means. They will get your cat out of a tree by breaking the tree. Batman wants to stop the Joker. Saving people is just something that happens from him stopping the Joker. So, Deadpool. He appears in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. He was created by artist and writer Rob Liefeld and writer Fabian Nicieza. The character first appeared in the New Mutants, number 98, cover dated February 1991. Initially, Deadpool was depicted as a supervillain when he made his first appearance in the New Mutants and later in issues of X-Force, but has since evolved into the role of an anti-hero. Deadpool is a disfigured and mentally unstable mercenary with the superhuman ability of an accelerated healing factor and physical prowess, among others. Due to the many mental conditions that Deadpool has, he doesn't remember his own backstory that is vague and subject to change. Whether or not his name was even Wade Wilson is subject to speculation, since one of his nemesis, T-Ray, claims in Deadpool number 33 that he is the real Wade Wilson and that Deadpool is a vicious murderer who stole his identity. In one issue, Deadpool himself joked that whether he is actually Wade Wilson depends on which the writer or the reader prefers. He has professed to be Canadian. The original story has him joining the Weapon X program after being kicked out of the United States Army Special Forces. His list of powers on a short form are as follows. Regenerative healing factor, master of martial arts, swordsman and marksman, extended longevity, carries devices that grant him teleportation and holographic disguise, and the magic satchel. The magic satchel is where basically Deadpool can pull seemingly impossible and large devices out of thin air. In the long form, he has many more powers than the ones listed here. In regards to his personality of our dear friend, Deadpool is aware that he is in a fictional comic book and that he's a character in that book. He is known as the Merc with a Mouth, among others, because of his talkative nature and tendency to break the fourth wall, which is used by writers to create humorous effect. That means that when in any medium, Deadpool can talk to the audience. It is really exciting because he has this uncanny knowledge that he is in whatever medium, be it comic or movie or etc. Few other characters in the Marvel Universe do that. Now, Deadpool is depicted as having an accelerated healing factor, which not only prevents him from being permanently injured through enhanced cell generation, throughout his entire body, but also causes psychosis and mental instability as his neurons are also affected by the accelerated regeneration. His brain cancer kills his cells as they regenerate, and vice versa. It is thought that while his psychosis is a handicap, it is also one of his best assets, as it makes him extremely unpredictable as an opponent. Taskmaster, who is a villain who has photoreflective memory, which allows him to copy anyone's fighting styles by observation, was unable to defeat Deadpool due to his chaotic and improvised fighting style. Taskmaster has also stated that Deadpool is an expert at distracting his opponents. This is very evident in the film. The problem with that is, Taskmaster wants to observe Deadpool's fighting style, but understands that Deadpool doesn't even know what he's going to do next. So how does Taskmaster? Now, this next part I want to add because it's unique. I think it should be talked about more in comics. In December 2013, Deadpool was confirmed as being omnisexual by Deadpool writer Gary Dungan via Twitter. When asked about Deadpool's sexuality, co-creator Fabian Nicieza stated, "Deadpool is whatever sexual inclination his brain tells him that he is in that moment." And then the moment passes. Some people got really upset about that. They're bigots and we don't need their type of negativity in our lives. The character's popularity has seen him feature in numerous other media. Reynolds would eventually portray the character in 2009 film X-Men Origins Wolverine. This is what I'm getting to. This character is one of the reasons that movie sucked. The version of Deadpool in that film was awful. But then, he later reprised the role in the film that I'm talking about today. This later and latter incarnation bears far more similarities to the comic version that you and I both love. I loved this film and this version of Deadpool so much. Now, to talk about the film, I will wrap up the plot quickly. A former Special Forces operative turned mercenary is subjected to a rogue experiment that leaves him with an accelerated healing powers, adopting the alter ego Deadpool. This is one of my favorite films, and I have seen many films. Now, as the main story regards, Deadpool hunts down the man who subjected him to the experiment that left him with new abilities, including an accelerated healing factor and a scarred physical appearance. I mean, like, really seriously scarred. He looks really frightening, like Freddy Krueger scary. This film is directed by Tom Miller with a screenplay by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernrich. This film stars Ryan Reynolds, Morena Baccarin, Ed Skrein, T.J. Miller, Gina Carano, Brianna Hildenbrand, Stefan Kapicic, and Leslie Uggams. I will primarily talk about how Ryan Reynolds, as Wade Wilson, Deadpool, was the greatest thing in the world. He was absolutely perfect. His voice inflection was so on point. It was one of the best iterations of any character that I have seen in a while. A flaw I had was the costume. There is this random bullet hole that never leaves, like ever in the entire film, and I just was kind of confused as to why it was there. I love the transformation of this character. It also was a love story, so it was great to see a superpowered individual in a love story. It has been revealed that at the time that his healing ability was given to him, Deadpool suffered from some form of cancer. After the healing factor was given to him, it made his normal cells as well as his cancer cells unable to die, giving him a heavily scarred appearance beneath his suit. Reynolds said that this version of Deadpool would be the more authentic than the one that appeared in X-Men Origins Wolverine and would be closer to the comic book version. Ryan Rodney Reynolds was born October 23, 1976. He's a Canadian actor and producer. He portrayed Michael Bergen on the ABC sitcom Two Guys and a Girl in 1998 through 2001, Billy Simpson in the YTV Canadian teen soap opera Hillside from 1991 to 1993, as well as Marvel Comics character Hannibal King in Blade Trinity, 2004. You see, he's been in comic book movies before. Now, the next character I'm talking about is Morena Baccarin as Vanessa Carlyle, Copycat, Wilson's girlfriend. This girl is not your average, ordinary damsel in distress. She's a character who loves the main character, but she's not the problem. He is not on the quest to save her. He's trying to win her over. Love wins all. She has the same name of the character Copycat, who can shapeshift and mimic powers. She doesn't do that in the movie. Anyways, Morena Silva de Vaz Seta Baccarin was born January 2nd, 1979. She's a Brazilian-American actress. She's known for portraying Inara Serra in the series Firefly and the follow-up film Serenity. She was Adria in the series Stargate SG-1 and the follow-up film Stargate, The Ark of Truth. Anna's the 2009 version of the series V, and Jessica Brody in the Showtime series Homeland, for which she received an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series in 2013. Also, get this, she plays the role of Dr. Leslie Tompkin in the Fox television series Gotham. Great show. It's about the history of Batman. Main character being Commissioner Gordon. Ed Skrein is Francis Freeman, Ajax. This guy is really annoying. You see, he is an artificially mutated member of the Weapon X program that creates Deadpool. Ajax is a weapons expert with enhanced strength and an inability to feel pain. He refuses to die. It is just very frustrating. He is really annoying. It gets really frustrating throughout the film. Edward George Ed Skrein, born 1983, March 29th, is an English rapper and actor. Aside from his rap career, he is best known for his roles as Dario Naharis in the season 3 of Game of Thrones 2013, and Ajax, of course, in this film. T.J. Miller as Weasel, Wilson's best friend. This character is interesting. He is really funny. He's the owner of a bar that helps him come up with the superhero name. It is really awesome how the conversation begins. He is well protected and well intended. It's a good time to be this character. Todd Joseph T.J. Miller was born June 4th, 1981. He's an American actor, voice actor, director, and comedian. He currently stars as Elric Bachman in the HBO sitcom Silicon Valley. Miller has also performed in such films as Cloverfield 2008, How to Train Your Dragon 2010, How to Train Your Dragon 2 2014. Those are all great films. And then Transformers Age of Extinction. Haven't actually seen it. 2014. Gina Carano as Angel Dust. This girl was a great character. She's an artificially mutated ally of Ajax who possesses superhuman levels of strength and speed. She's a woman who plays a strong character. It is uncommon to find women who play characters that are this underdeveloped but this important to the plot. I have no idea about who this Angel Dust woman is. I don't know her background. I had to look it up. Angel Dust has the ability to increase her adrenaline, gaining superhuman strength for a short time. Her strength varies from being able to lift 800 pounds to being able to lift 25 tons, depending on her adrenaline levels. Her speed, agility, and stamina are also enhanced. However, she can only use her powers for a short time before exhausting herself. When she uses her powers, dark lines appear on her face. In the comics. Gina Joy Carano was born April 16th, 1982. She's an American actress, television personality, fitness model, and former mixed martial artist. Carano began her training with straight Muay Thai to competitive MMA, where she competed in Strikeforce and Elite XC. Her popularity led her to being called the face of women's MMA, although Carano herself rejected that title and was ranked 5th on the list of top 10 influential women of 2008. Carano compiled a competitive victory of 12-1-1 in Muay Thai and a 7-1 in women's MMA. Outside the ring, Carano performed as Crush in the revamped 2008 television series American Gladiators. Carano has pursued a career in acting since she retired from competition. Carano's film debut in Seven in Steven Soderbergh's 2011 action film Haywire earned a nomination for Best Actress in the genre at the 18th Critics' Choice Awards. Additional film credits include Fast and Furious 6, 2013, and a starring role in John Stockwell's In the Blood, 2014. Brianna Hildenbrand as Negasonic Teenage Warhead. This character is one of my favorites. She is funny. She's the average teenage dilemma. She is sassy. She is not your traditional X-Men. She is one, though. I hope she shows up in some of the other X-Men movies. She's a mutant with a unique power to explode. And not like the traditional teen explosion either. She's a teenage X-Men trainee who possesses the mutant power to detonate atomic burst from her body. Brianna Hildenbrand was born August 14th, 1996. She's an American actress known for starring in the web series Annie Undocumented. I've actually, never seen that series, but, she is another example of YouTube making people into gigantic stars. Like our all-beloved Justin Bieber. The version of Negasonic Teenage Warhead that they used in this film is actually not the one that is well known or the one that's in the comics. And there's a reason behind that. Although it was an obscure comic character, the writers selected her because they liked her name. I mean, who doesn't? It's Negasonic Teenage Warhead. They also thought that both a goth girl with Cannonball's powers would be a better choice for the film than using Cannonball himself. Cannonball has similar explosive powers, though via a different mutation. Her power is the ability to telekinetically detonate within a certain radius of herself, and it's visualized in the movie as an expanding energy bubble, invoking plasma and atomic blast. She's portrayed as a young X-Men trainee who is paired with Colossus and aids Deadpool in his fight with Francis by the end of the movie, helping Colossus defeat Angel Dust. Then, finally, it's Stefan Kapicic, born December 1st, 1978. as the voice of Peter Rasputin, Colossus. You see, this character was predominantly CGI. He's a Serbian actor with numerous television and film credits to his name. He is still an X-Men with the mutant ability to transform his entire body into organic steel. He is not the same guy who originated this role. The role was originally offered to Daniel Cudmore, who played the character in X2, X-Men The Last Stand, and X-Men Days of Future Past. But he declined for whatever reason, whatever foolish reason. Instead, Colossus became a performance by several actors. The full squad includes Kapicic provided the voice. Andrei Tricoto gave the motion capture performance. The motion capture supervisor, Brett LaSalle, was used for the facial performance. And a variety of other actors were used for the stunts and the other facial scannings that were necessary for the film. All right, now to wrap it all up. Deadpool premiered in Paris on February 8th, 2016, and was released on February 12th, 2016 in North America in IMAX, DOP, and D-Box, and premium large formats. The film had the highest grossing opening weekend for an R-rated film in North America, and broke numerous other box office records, which I will talk about. I will talk about them later. This is all while receiving generally positive reviews with critics. The critics, praised Ryan Reynolds for his performance, the entire film as a whole for the humor that it had, and the action sequences that the film, was full of. But, I understand how some of them criticize the plot as being a little formulaic. That makes sense because, it is a love story, and pretty much all of them are all the same. But a sequel has already been greenlit. Of course, it has been. The film is awesome, and they will continue to run with this until this well runs dry. This film has had a budget of $58 million, and so far, according to February 23rd, 2016, has made $497.6 million. It's been less than 2 weeks. It is 108 minutes long. It is fantastic and should be played at all times. I will give my recommendation of the film very soon. I first want to provide you with some records that Deadpool broke. First, again, he's the biggest R-rated opening weekend. So it beat 2013's The Matrix Reloaded. So just think about that, all right? It beat The Matrix. It's also the biggest opening weekend for a first-time director. This one speaks for itself. This was the director Tom Miller's first feature film, directorial credit, and according to this, hopefully it won't be his last. It also is the biggest Friday through Sunday opening weekend from a long weekend. It's also biggest 20th Century Fox movie, period. It bested $108 million Friday through Sunday debut of Fox's Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith back in 2005, which I actually happen to love. It is the biggest R-rated Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's also the biggest R-rated Monday film of all time, and the biggest February opening weekend, beating out last year's 50 Shades of Grey. Biggest opening weekend for Ryan Reynolds. No duh. But it also is probably the biggest opening weekend for pretty much everyone who was involved with this project in any format whatsoever. It also is the biggest R-rated comic book superhero movie ever. And then it's also the biggest X-Men debut ever. Out of all of the X-Men films, X-Men 1, X-Men 2, all of them, this is the largest one. Now, my recommendation for this film is very simple. See it. It's a must-see. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Now, disclaimer, it is not for children. Do not take minors to see it. I repeat, Deadpool was everything I wanted and more. I give it a great rating. It was so funny. It was a great film. It's not a superhero movie. It's a love story. And it is not a movie for children. Do not take your child to see it and then be upset at the content. You go see it and then decide if you think little Bill can handle it. This film was intensely intense. It was a great and very authentic, close to the comic movie. His powers were shown in great detail, and it is the best adaptation of a superhero love story I've ever seen. I have no idea why they made this film, but I'm glad they did, and I really hope we get more like it. Bottom line, 1, see this movie. 2, Deadpool is pansexual. It may show up in other movies. 3, here are some cool links that I can post down below. 4, Deadpool is hysterical. 5, it is one of my favorite R-rated movies. 6, Deadpool is multilingual, with the ability to speak fluently in German, Spanish, ASL, and Japanese, in addition to his native English. 7, although in his earlier years he was originally portrayed as having superhuman strength, he is no longer depicted as having that ability, and you will understand what I mean when you see the film. 8. Since Deadpool is aware that he is a fictional character, he uses this knowledge to his advantage to deal with other opponents and gain knowledge to which he can help defeat them, and it's knowledge that he should not normally have access to, such as reading past issues of his and other people's comics. You should know that I thank you all for sticking around to the end of this video. And as I've always stated before, I won't give it a rating here, but I already have on my blog, which you can check out when I review it there at rogersrundown.blogspot.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, or emotional outburst, feel free to reach out to me personally on my Twitter at DeanMachine2016 or my blog, which is again rogersrundown.blogspot.com. That is all. Thank you. And until next time, do good things and make good choices.